Day 2, and you know what that means? More to discuss about the NFL. Monday, I gave you my thoughts on Andy Dalton, Jordan Love, and Jalen Hurts, as well as the Cincinnati Bengals and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Today, we're going to switch gears and we're going to talk about Tua Tagovailoa, Jameis Winston, Chase Young, and Cam Newton, and lastly, I'm going to highlight the New England Patriots. So, are you ready to get your fix? Well, let's move over to the Miami Dolphins. Now, going into the draft, the Miami Dolphins had the 5th overall pick, and instead of trading up to the 3rd pick with the Lions like everyone thought they would do, they stayed at the 5th pick and drafted Tua Tagovailoa from Alabama. Now, if you're unaware, Tua actually suffered a season-ending hip injury against Mississippi State last year, where Alabama would eventually go on to finish 11-2, and then I believe they won the Citrus Bowl against the Michigan Wolverines. So before Tua actually suffered this hip injury, I felt like he was probably on pace to be the number 1 draft pick. I really felt like he was just getting it done. I mean, he already won a national championship as a freshman, I believe it was. He was just able to fill in big games and play very, very well. I thought Tua was very accurate, and a lot of people were actually comparing him to Drew Brees, which to me, it's a great comparison, but I don't think it's fair, being that, Tua hasn't really played a snap in the NFL yet. I really loved Tua's competitiveness. He went out there every week and tried his hardest to win. He took a good amount of risk, though. And being as big of a risk taker as he was, I felt like that was the reason he suffered this hip injury. I feel like that was a reason he actually had suffered multiple injuries throughout his career. A lot of people were actually questioning if Tua could still perform. Can he still perform in the NFL? Can he stay healthy? How long does he have to play? The reason people are worried about this, and they should be, is because all before this, 2 years ago, Tua broke his finger in spring practice. Then he went and sprained his knee. And then I think later that season, he went and suffered a quad injury against Mississippi State. And then he sprained his ankle against, I think, Georgia in the SEC championship game. So that's 4 injuries in 1 year. And then we go last year where he had that hip injury. But before that hip injury last year, earlier in the season, he sprained the other ankle. All of this was before the hip. He had 5 injuries before this hip injury. That's a lot. And GM should be worried. And this should raise some eyebrows. But however, each and every time he suffered injury, he came back on that field and he lit it up. He was still able to perform. He was still able to win big games. I don't feel like he's going to have a problem. I feel like he's going to have no problem performing in the NFL, and it really wouldn't surprise me if Tua wins the Rookie of the Year. I really do believe he gives the Dolphins a really good chance at getting maybe a 2nd place in their division, with the Buffalo Bills finishing 1st. So, just be ready for Tua to make a big difference this season, because I feel like he's going to. Now, enough on Tua. Let's go to Jameis Winston, who just signed a 1-year deal with the New Orleans Saints. It was worth, I think, $1.1 million, where he can earn up to $4.7 million in incentives. Now, this was a weird move. I felt like with Teddy kind of going to the Carolina Panthers, that Taysom Hill was now that guy to replace Drew Brees down the road. And, he probably still is. Now, Taysom Hill actually signed a 2-year deal worth $21 million, and 16 of it was guaranteed with $1 million in incentives. So, and he signed this deal before Jameis did. Jameis signed it, I think, 2 days after. So that's why this kind of got me thinking, okay, this Taysom's the number 2 quarterback, and he will be Drew Brees' replacement, once he decides to hang it up. So, like I said, 2 days later, bam, Jameis Winston is signed. So now New Orleans Saints have 3 quarterbacks, like they did last year. And that could be due to the fact that the Saints feel like they can utilize Taysom Hill in the wildcat or at the wide receiver position better than the quarterback position at this moment, especially, because they have Drew Brees. So why are you going to put Taysom Hill at quarterback? You're not going to do that. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, Taysom Hill can still sling that ball. He can still sling that ball, but I feel with Sean Payton's offense, I feel like that's where he best fits, and that's where he's going to play until Drew Brees decides to retire. That's where he will play. Now, with the signing of Jameis, I feel like this can be one of 2 things, okay? Either the Saints sign him so that he can shop himself to other teams and possibly get traded halfway through the season while also still getting paid. He's still getting a little chunk of money while he's out there shopping himself, getting other teams looking at him, you know what I'm saying? So, the other thing I'm thinking of is the Saints are gearing up for Drew Brees to leave. And now you got Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill, who both proved their worth. Granted, Jameis did have that 30-interception season last year, but I felt like he was able to change that. I felt like going into this season, he's with that LASIK surgery. I feel he's going to be okay. He's not going to be the greatest. Who knows what this LASIK surgery is going to do? I feel like he's going to be able to go in there and still perform. Not a 30 interception season. I mean, Brett Favre did it. So I think he's going to be just fine. I feel like Jameis could actually potentially become the New Orleans Saints starting quarterback down the road in a couple years. So how this turns out is going to be, it's going to be intriguing, and I really can't wait to see what kind of plan the Saints have in place, because it's going to be exciting. It's going to be a really good year. I think the NFL is going to be full of stories this year, especially with all this stuff going on now. But I feel like watch the Saints. See how they utilize Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill and Drew Brees. Just watch the Saints. So let's move over to the Washington Redskins. Now, they just drafted Chase Young with the second pick in the first round. Now, I believe Chase Young coming out of this draft is going to make the biggest impact and the biggest difference in the NFL. He's an absolute freak of nature. He is literally, they call him the Predator for a reason. This guy he eats up offensive linemen. He eats them up. And then he goes and he eats up the quarterback right after that. So, I mean, this guy had a higher draft grade than both Joey and Nick Bosa. And if you know them, they are both forces in the NFL. So this may be foreshadowing things for Chase Young. I think Chase Young's going to come in this league. He's going to tear it up, even though his team's not going to win a lot. But he's going to be that reason that Washington stays in some of those games and not get blown out. He's going to be that guy. He's such a dominant player that he's going to be able to blow by those defenders, disrupt the play of all the quarterbacks, and just cause chaos. He's going to make sure Washington stays in these games. I think he has the ability to come into this league, get 10-plus sacks. My guess is he finishes the season with 15, 16 sacks. In the last 2 seasons at Ohio State, I think his sophomore year he had 10.5 sacks. And then his junior year, which was last year, he had 16.5. So with that consistency, I'm thinking he's going to be able to come in the NFL and get that 15 or 16 sacks his first year. You know, he's definitely, for sure, my early vote for Defensive Player of the Year. The Washington Redskins really did not fail with this pick because, you know, Chase Young is a franchise guy. He's not a 1 to 2 year guy where you just have him, then you get rid of him. The Redskins are rebuilding right now, and they have been for maybe the last 2-3 years. Not that great, not that fast paced as we wanted, but they are still rebuilding. And with the addition of Chase, I believe they're on the right path to, you know, winning more games. So switching gears to Cam Newton, who is still a free agent, by the way. Now, before the draft took place, I was thinking, okay, Cam's going to get picked up by a team. I don't know who it is, maybe the Jacksonville Jaguars or the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's what I'm thinking. And a lot of people were hoping New England was going to get him. And I was against that move for sure, because I think Cam and Bill would have butted heads more, and I don't think Bill would have the time to deal with Cam's immaturity. I really don't. I think he barely even handled Antonio Brown last year. So I feel like it just wouldn't work out in New England. So I'm thinking Jacksonville Jaguars, and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Anyways, with Cam Newton not getting picked by anyone, and now the draft is up, I felt NFL teams were waiting to see what quarterbacks were still on board. What quarterbacks can we draft that potentially could perform better than Cam Newton? So they wanted to wait, and they wanted to see how their team drafted and how their team actually lined up and what they actually needed. And that's why Cam Newton is still a free agent. All NFL teams right now are looking at their team, they're assessing it, making sure they don't need something. That's why he's there. Jacksonville still needs a quarterback, very bad. I believe Pittsburgh Steelers, if they were to pick up Cam Newton, I feel like they could make a really, really big difference. They could be a shocker team this year. They could potentially finish second in their division. I do think Cam, though, is a starting caliber player and quarterback. He just has some issues, but I feel like he can put those aside and just go out there and ball. I really do. The only thing that worries me is he hasn't been healthy, just kind of like how I said with Tua. The last couple years, Cam's been hurt. Cam, the last time he was healthy and played all games was 2 seasons ago, and that was in 2017 where he started all of them, and they went 11-5, but they lost to the Saints in the playoffs. So, and I think they lost 31-26, and this was a wild card game. It wasn't a divisional game. This was a wild card game, so it was right away. They went 11-6 total, 11-5 in the regular season, 0-1 in the playoffs. But, you know, that is what you're going to get. This is what you're going to get if you get Cam. You're going to get a winning season who can get you to playoffs and possibly more. He has that ability to get you there. I know he does. He's been to a Super Bowl. He's been an MVP. So, if you get and or have good protection for Cam, you're getting a really, really good and reliable player. And it really wouldn't surprise me if Cam is on an NFL team at the end of the season. I really feel like a lot of teams are going to need quarterbacks this year. Like I said, the Jacksonville Jaguars, maybe the Steelers if Big Ben gets hurt because they don't want another Mason Rudolph coming in there. I'm sorry. No, they don't. Okay? But Cam will see the field at some point this season, whether that's in the stands or on an NFL team. But I think it's an NFL team. So finally, on to what was once a dynasty and now the beginning of something new with the New England Patriots. They lost Tom Brady in free agency to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, like I spoke about last week, which was definitely the biggest loss to their franchise. I mean, he was there for 20 seasons, 6 rings. This guy, that's where he was. He's a Patriot. He'll be a Patriot for life. Even with the Patriots finishing 12-4 last season, I felt like Tom was the only reason, besides their defense, that they stayed in games and were able to win a lot of those games. However, since Tom Brady left, this meant one thing. Get a quarterback. Get a quarterback. Did they do this? No. Instead, they decided to roll the ball with Jarrett Stidham, or Stid, as Bill wants to call him, and Brian Hoyer. Now, Brian Hoyer's been in that system before, but I don't think he's a reliable backup anymore. I just don't. These quarterbacks just don't make any sense in New England. I hope Jarrett Stidham performs very, very well, which I don't think is going to happen. I think he's going to be subpar. He's not going to really make a difference. But why not, instead of trading out of your first round pick, why not go get Jalen Hurts? It was available. He went in the second round, so you had that pick, or go in free agency, lock up Jameis Winston, like the Saints did. But no, I don't understand it, and I feel like this is Bill Belichick saying, hey, I can win with no matter the player, and however the situation, I can win with whoever I got right now. I don't need Tom. I don't need Gronk. I can win with Jarrett Stidham. We're good with that. I can do that. This is going to be real interesting, okay? Because without Tom, Bill Belichick coached 5 seasons in the Cleveland Browns organization, and he had 1 winning season, and that was in 1994, where he went 11-5, where he went in the playoffs and then lost the second game in the playoffs. So he went 12-6. Okay, the only bad season Bill had with Tom Brady, the only bad season was his first season, when Tom was a rookie and when he was drafted. They ended up going 5-11. Otherwise, he hasn't had a bad season in New England. They've all been pretty much solid. 12-4, 11-5, 12-4, 11-5, 10-6. No losing season. But this could change. This year could be a very, very, very important year for Bill Belichick, because we can see if he's actually the greatest coach of all time or a bust. And Tom's the greatest player of all time. So this is going to be awesome. I feel like the Miami Dolphins and the Buffalo Bills are really, since they upgraded their offenses and their defenses this offseason, I feel the Patriots are not in a good position at all. They're not going to be winning a lot of games. And I feel like they're more than likely going to finish less than 500. The Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins more than likely are going to sweep them. The Dolphins may have probably a little bit less of a chance in sweeping them, but I just don't see it. I feel like Bill's a mastermind, but I feel like this could be the year the Patriots end up with a good draft pick next year. Number 1, number 2, number 3, somewhere around there, and then they go and they pick Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields, and bam, they're back in the thick of things. So overall, I feel like New England ends up, like I said, with either second or third place in their division. So they could even end up last if the New York Jets perform well, which they have Sam Darnold, Le'Veon Bell. They brought over a wide receiver in the draft. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. But this is going to be exciting. It's going to be very exciting. This NFL this year is going to be a lot of what's going to happen. And I feel like it's going to be really exciting to watch Bill and see what Bill can accomplish without Tom. It's going to be one of those going to be one of those seasons where everyone's kind of curious of everything. It's going to be another one, how like last season was with Patrick Mahomes. Now you got Lamar Jackson. They're going at it. And then Jimmy Garoppolo. But, just be ready. This NFL season's going to be crazy. And that's all I got. So that'll end our discussion today. And you just got your fix with the Wicks.